Hey everyone, welcome to the series of Python programming. This is a first lecture of this series, and we are going to go over the introduction to Python, what is Python, its history and features, installation of Python, and how you can write your first Python program. So let's get into the video. What is Python? Python is a high level interpreted general purpose programming language. In programming language, there are of two types. One is high level programming language and another is low level programming language. So, high level programming language stands for something that is in a human readable format. For example, Java and Python. Those both are high level programming languages. Now, what are low level programming languages? Those are machine oriented languages which are generally written in assembly level code or machine code, that is in zeros and ones. So, Python is a high level programming language. Now, what is interpreted? So, the meaning of interpreted is the Python code is executed line by line. Now, Python is both compiled and interpreted, but it is known as a interpreted programming language, and we will understand more about it in the lecture. Now, what is general purpose programming language? It means that Python can be used for various things, that is web development, automation, AI, etc. etc. It was created by Guido van Rossum and it was first released in 1991. And Python is often described as executable pseudocode because programs written in Python closely resemble plain English. Now, since we know Python is a high level language, it is, of course, understandable by humans. And moreover, Python has a very simple syntax. It almost looks like it is plain English. So, that is why it is known as executable pseudocode. Python is dynamically typed, meaning you don't declare variable types, and it is garbage collected, meaning you don't manage memory manually. Now, you might not understand this in the first lecture itself, but as we go into the variables and in the remaining lectures, you will understand what is the meaning of dynamically typed and all. Now, let us go into the history and features. So, Python has had three major versions, that is 1.x, 2.x, and 3.x. These both are not in use right now, and currently we are using Python 3.x. Okay, it is running from 2008 to the present. Even now, we are using Python 3.x. Now, what are the features of Python? Simple and readable syntax. That is, Python doesn't have any curly braces or semicolons at end of every statement like in Java. It is very simple. It doesn't have all of that. So it has a clean structure. Now, interpreted. What is interpreted? So, the code is executed line by line by Python interpreter. Now, dynamically typed. Variable types are resolved at runtime, not compile time. Now, if you want a basic example of this, if you know C or Java, before we write a variable name, we declare it with a type, data type. For example, int age or int a. But in Python, you don't need to define a data type for a variable. Python will automatically resolve it at runtime. So, this is the meaning of dynamically typed. Now, object oriented. So, Python is an object oriented language. That means everything in Python is an object, and Python has extensive standard library. So, it has many built in libraries and some external libraries as well, which can be installed using a package manager. Now, multi paradigm. So, it supports procedural, object oriented, and functional programming styles. And Python is open source, it is free to use, modify, and also distribute. Now, installing Python. So, Python is available for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux as well. Now, why do we need to install Python? because our computers by default do not have a Python. So if you try to write a Python code in your computer and try to run it, your system won't recognize that it is a Python code. So you need to externally install Python, and only then you will be able to run your Python programs. Now let us see how to install Python and add its path to the system. So go to the search bar and type python.org, and you'll be directed to the official Python site. And if you hover over the downloads, you can see the Python 3.14.6 version. So you can just click on that, and the latest version of Python will be installed. So as you can see, the installation has started, and after it is installed, just click on that. So this Python installer is on the screen. You can click on customize. So click on customize installation and let all the text be there. Click on next, and here click on add Python to environment variables and click on install. It will take some time to get installed, so just wait for it to complete. So the installation is finished. You can just click on close, and the installation is successful. Now to check if the Python is successfully installed in your system, go to the command prompt and type python hyphen hyphen version, and there the version that you have installed will be displayed. So next, running Python scripts. So Python code can be executed in three ways: the interactive REPL, a script file, or a notebook, and each has a different use case. REPL, it stands for read, eval, print, and loop. So basically, you can open your terminal and print Python 3, and Python will evaluate each expression immediately and print the result. So let us check how to do that. So we are in our command prompt. We can just type Python 3, and here if you see three greater than symbols are there, here you can write any Python code and it will run. So if you just want to write 6 plus 2, it is evaluating that expression and printing the output of that. And we can write a Python program. So we are going to write our very first Python program. So that is, we'll write a simple print statements. So to print something in Python, you basically write the print keyword and open bracket, and then this double quotes, and inside that you can write the text that you want to print. For example, we are writing hello world. So it is a common practice among the programmers around the world to just write hello world as their first program. While it is not mandatory, but that is what most people do. So let us just hit enter, and as you can see, the hello world is printed. Now, not just hello world, you can also print any statement that you want. For example, let us write bitwise learn, and that is printed. Or suppose you want to write your name, that will also be printed. So this is how you run it in your command prompt. So that is a first method, REPL, read eval print loop, which is done in a terminal. And next method is to write script files.py files. Now if you are using any code editor like VS Code, or you can also write it in your notepad, and you have to save that file using .py extension, which stands for Python. And you can open your command prompt again and type python 3, whatever the file name that you saved, .py. Suppose you saved that file with hello.py, then you'll Write in your terminal python 3 hello.py, and if you run it, that program will be run. And the third method is to do it using Jupyter Notebooks, which is a browser environment that mixes code cells output. You know, it is generally used in data science and education. So let us see how to create a Python file and then run it. I have opened my VS Code, which is a code editor. Here we are going to write a code. So here click to create a new file, and suppose we are naming it as greet.py. This is the name that we have given to this file, and we are writing a simple code called name equals Niha, and then we are printing hello hello name. Now we will open something called terminal, and here we are going to type python 3 greet.py. And did you see the output? It prints hello Niha. Now this is how you write programs in Python. This is how you save. Suppose instead of greet, you can write hello.py or any name, any file name.py, and then in the terminal you use python 3 command along with the file name. Then the code will be executed and the output will be printed. So this is nothing but we have taken a variable called name and we have assigned my name to it, and we have seen print statement before. So print hello, before we have printed hello world, and here instead of world we wanted to print my name. So hello comma, and we are writing the variable name here. Suppose here the variable name is something else, then here we are going to write the same variable name, and if we run it, we'll get the output. So this is a very simple Python program. And if you see in the example here, name equals to input of enter your name. So here instead of writing the name directly in the code, we are going to take the input from the user. Let us try to run the same code and check. So whenever you change any code, you have to go to the terminal and you have to type that python 3 greet.py command or python 3 filename.py command to run it. So if you see, it is asking enter your name. So here you can enter any name. I'm just writing bitwise learn, and if I press enter, so it is printing hello bitwise learn. So in the previous program we have written the name in the code itself, but in this program we are taking the input from the user, and the syntax is just write input and put it in a parenthesis, write the double quotes and just write whatever text that you want. Suppose instead of name we want to get age, so we'll write enter your age. And now if we run that command in the terminal again, it is asking enter your age. Now suppose we will write some random age 32 and press enter, so it is just printing hello 32. So instead of hello 32, maybe if you want to print age, uh, age colon that, so we'll run the command. It is asking for age 35 and it is printing age is 35. So this is a simple program to take input from the user and print the details to the output screen. Now, moving on to the next section, this is Python IDEs. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Now, what is that? It is a collection of tools that is code editor, debugger, and terminal, and combining it into a one single tool. We have seen VS Code earlier, that is one of the IDE because it has a code editor, debugger, and terminal all integrated in just one tool. What is code editor? It is used to write, edit, modify, and run your program. And debugger is used to fix any errors or issues. And terminal is, we have run a command called python3 greet.py, and we have did that in the terminal. So all these tools are included in one software, in one tool, that is VS Code, and that is an integrated development environment. Now there are some more IDEs like PyCharm, ideally Jupyter Notebook, Google Colab, and you don't necessarily have to use all of them. You can just stick with one code editor, and I suggest you to go with VS Code. All right, next, Python execution model. So, understanding how Python runs your code will help you debug faster. So, when you create a .py file, we have written a greet.py file earlier. Do you remember that? So, the C Python will first compile it into bytecode, and it will store it in .pyc files inside PyCache folder, and then the Python virtual machine will interpret that bytecode. Now, what is happening is we have written a .py program. Any program that ends with .py extension is a Python program, and that file is first compiled and a .pyc file is generated. It is an intermediate code called bytecode, and then the Python virtual machine will take that bytecode and then will interpret it line by line during the runtime. So this is a two-step process, that is both compilation is happening and interpretation is also happening, but the compilation step is internal and automatic, and after the bytecode is generated, the Python virtual machine will interpret it line by line. Now, Python REPL in depth, I think we have already seen this read eval print loop earlier. So you can write a Python program there and just click enter, and it will give you the output. And next, virtual environments. So virtual environment is an isolated environment in Python. Python has a vast number of libraries. There are many built-in libraries and there are some external libraries which can be installed using a package manager, and in Python the package manager is pip. And going ahead, when you learn more about the Python in terms of development, then you will use this pip very widely. You'll use the package manager pip to install many libraries. You can install the libraries directly into your system, and when you try to create multiple Python projects, one project might use a different version of that library and another project might use another version of the library. So if you directly install that library in your system, these two projects might clash. So that is why there is something called virtual environment. That is, for each project we'll create a virtual environment and install the required packages only in that environment. So it is always an ideal practice to create each virtual environment for each product so that there won't be any version conflicts. Now, you don't need to understand this in depth. When you are exploring Python in the development side, you will come across this virtual environments, installation of libraries, and all of that stuff. For now, it is good to have just a basic knowledge about what virtual environment is. Now, Python's ecosystem. So Python is not just a language, it is enormous ecosystem of libraries, frameworks, and tools built around it. So there are over 5 lakh packages installable via pip. As I've told, pip is a package manager which is used for installing or uninstalling packages in Python. So some of the domains of Python are web development, and a very popular framework in that is Django, which is used for full stack web development. And then there are also something called Flask or Fast API, which are like lightweight APIs. And Python is also used widely in data science and machine learning. And some of the libraries that are used in that are NumPy, Pandas, Scikit-learn. Now, you don't have to memorize all of this. You can just take a look at it and see what are being used. And next domain is automation or scripting, and then scientific computing, game development, networking, or security. Now, if you're particularly interested in any of the domains, then you can go ahead and research more about that, what libraries are used, or how is Python used in that particular domain. Okay, now Python in industry. Python is constantly ranked as the world's most popular programming language, and some of the leading companies use Python in their work. First is Google. One of the three official languages is Python in Google. So it is used in search and YouTube backend and some internal tools. And then Instagram, which almost everybody uses now, it uses Django deployment. So it is the world's largest Django deployment. It uses Django framework. And next, NASA, it uses for data analysis. As we have seen, it is one of the domain of Python. And then Netflix for data pipelines, ML recommendation engine, uh, and then Dropbox. So all these major companies use Python in their work. We have checked our Python version, and then we have created our basic Python program in VS Code, and we have checked it. So this is the introduction to Python. Now we have some assignment questions attached to this lecture.